Hey guys, what's up? If you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. I'm Skyler Joy. I do vlogs and funny videos, and then I do story times as well. Welcome to part 2. Obviously you liked part 1. I'm really happy about that. I was really nervous putting out the video, but you guys have seemed to really like it. I'm getting some really great messages and comments, and I appreciate it. On to part 2. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel though before you move on. Since I was a child, I've always had trouble sleeping. I remember always feeling like someone was watching me. I woke up and I heard a woman singing. I started having this dream. I would be at this lake with my friends. The car would drag me underwater into the lake and I would drown and die. I found out that was the way that my grandmother had died. This medium started crying, like bawling, and she told me that this woman loves me so much. I started connecting with other people's family and friends that had passed. I've always been super sensitive, and I never really knew why growing up that I felt things a lot more than most people. People growing up wouldn't even want to be my friends because I was so sensitive, which now makes sense to why I started connecting with people's past loved ones. A few years back, I was cast on a TV show, and when this TV show I was cast on was a true story. You can come in, Steven. Come on in. Are you done, bud? You gonna go lay down now? Back to my story. So this TV show I was on a couple years ago, it was about a couple. They madly fell in love, started practicing satanic things, and they came to the conclusion that they really wanted to perform a human sacrifice, because in this book that they were reading, if they performed a human... In this book they were reading, if they performed a human sacrifice and they basically killed a girl and they threw her body in the ocean, that they would live forever and they would happily ever after. So they went into a strip club. They found this girl, this young girl that was about 20, 21. They went in and they convinced her to leave with them. She left with them and they stabbed her to death. They skinned her, they threw her body in the ocean. I was portraying the young girl that was killed on this show. After I had filmed this show, I started having these crazy dreams. They weren't like every night, but they were consistent. It was kind of like sleep paralysis. I would be sleeping, but I was very aware that I was sleeping, and it was almost like I could like look in on myself and see myself sleeping. And I would be awake in my dream, and I would look over in the doorway, and there was just this man, all black. He was very tall, and he just stood there. And I couldn't see his face, but he just stood there, like, watching me. I could feel it. I could feel his presence, and he would just watch me, and I would feel terrified. But, like, I would try and go back to sleep, but I just was very aware that he was there. And it would feel like I was having this dream for hours. I don't know how long it actually lasted, but, like, it felt like I was laying there, and he was just standing there for hours. The last time that I had the dream, it was the same thing. I was laying there, and the man was just standing there. But this time, every hour, he would take a step closer to me. I was very aware in my dream. Every hour, he would just take one step closer. When he started getting really close to the bed, I like did that thing, you know, when you like put the covers over your head because you think that's gonna save you or something. That's what I did. And I was sleeping on the edge of the bed. So my bed's here and then there's like a wall. I was sleeping on next to the wall. When I opened the covers up, I saw him go down all fours like he was some kind of animal, and he climbed underneath my bed. He grabbed my arm and started pulling me into the crack between the wall and my bed. I woke up screaming. My arm was killing me when I woke up. It was the weirdest thing. It was terrifying. After I had that dream that time, I never had it again. But things started getting weird. Things were like my TV. I had a TV in my room and it would just turn off randomly. I would have my TV glitch where it just started doing this, and it was a brand new TV. Things just seemed odd. Like I wasn't sleeping. I would wake up in the middle of the night and just be wide awake for no reason, and I would not be able to fall back asleep. And this was the time that I was very aware that, you know, I had a connection with my grandmother. I started just having these weird moments where names would come to me. I'll explain it later in the video. But it got bad. I talked to my dad about it. My dad said, why don't you call my friend's wife? She's a medium. So I did. I called her and I said, I just need to get this off my chest. This is all happening to me. This is what has happened with my grandmother. I told her everything. And she said, yeah, you're a medium. And she said, but listen, this is a gift and you can accept it or you can decline it. She said, you need to pray about it and figure out what you want to do with it. She said, you know, you're going to be attracting a lot of dark things. You need to learn how to control them and block them out and pray about them. And at this point I was like, is this real life? Because this is just sounding crazier and crazier. But I'm telling you, it was very real for me. After I talked to her on the phone, I thought about it for maybe like a day or two. And I, you know, lit some candles and sat down and was like, okay, hello, God. Thank you for this gift. I want to accept it. I can use it to help people. That's what I want to do. After that prayer, things got even crazier. You know, how can they get crazier, Skyler? Well, I'll tell you how they got crazier. I started having dreams of dying every night in different ways. And every dream, I was somebody else. I started with certain people. Usually it would be people that I was close to, but sometimes it would be strangers. And I could sense who has died. I can literally feel when I'm with some people what kind of person passed away that is there for them. Say, for instance, this girl I know, I'm not gonna say her name. I can sense that her grandfather has passed away. So the feeling that I get is like, I set that down. I'm positive I set that down. I feel so strongly about somebody losing whoever they lost. I know that they did, and I'm always right. Do I say something about it all the time? No. I never know how people will react. I did have one friend that his father passed away. I would literally have problems hanging out with him because I felt so upset for no reason around him. Finally, we talked about it, and sure enough, he had a lot of issues with his dad that had passed, and he wasn't ready to move on from that. So it started affecting me. Like when I was around him, I would just get really emotional and angry. Also, my aunt passed away. My uncle was married to her for like 60 years or something crazy. After she passed away, he started dating someone else. When my grandmother told me this, it was so weird. I got so jealous. I was like, what do you mean he started dating someone else already? And I got so mad and jealous, and I had to stop and be like, I wasn't even close to this lady. Why do I care so much? It's because spirits make me feel, this is where it sounds crazy, spirits make me feel how they feel. The other way that communicate with other people's past loved ones is by memories. I have memories that aren't mine a lot. I will have a memory of something like a birthday party, and I will see where I'm at, and I will have that feeling of I know exactly who I am, but I'm not Skyler, but like in the memory, I can feel whose it is very strongly. So if it's an older woman, I can feel I'm like an older woman in this. I can feel exactly what they feel in that memory. And when I have shared those memories with friends, they make sense to them, or they mean something to them, or they regret something, and it makes sense to why the spirit is coming through and trying to say, hey, like this happened and I feel bad about it. So like I said, it started getting a lot worse. All these things started happening. They're still happening. I had a friend that had a grandfather pass away. I had no idea I was a medium, and I told him, he's like, give me a reading, and I said, okay, I'll try. So I told him his grandfather had passed and he was coming through for him. Sounds so weird, but and my friend said I didn't really know him. And it's odd because sometimes I've noticed those people that we never met are the strongest for us because they've watched us. That sounds creepy, but they've watched us our whole lives. And his grandfather kept showing me like birds and just making me feel like he wanted me to see him. And I said, I feel like he sends you signs all the time that he's there, but you don't see them. And my friend was like, what signs? I don't understand. What are you talking about? Right when he said that, his phone lit up. And you know how Siri opens up and talks? It was Siri, and she said, I'm right here. Creepy! To this day, I still struggle with being a medium. I've gotten to a point where I'm comfortable sharing it with you guys. It is a part of me. It's something that is really different and wacky, but it's also really cool and interesting. It is something I want to continue sharing with you guys. I was definitely overwhelmed with the messages I got from some of you. I want to continue doing story times on this topic because I have so many stories to tell, to get off my chest. If you want me to do another one next week, let me know in the comments below. Also, I'd love to answer some questions in one of my videos, so drop a comment, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.